Dear viewers, thank you for joining us. You're watching our weekly program, Talk to OBN, on your favorite media channel, OBN Horn of Africa. My guest today is Gashau Idea, founder and chairperson of Global Ethiopian Diaspora for Prosperity and Diversity. Gashau, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Well, Gashau, in this edition, we'll be talking about the role of diasporas in the accomplishment of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam and the role of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam in bringing regional and continental integration. To begin with, can you just tell us your role and a bit about this Global Ethiopian Diaspora for Prosperity and Diversity, and the role you have played in the ongoing prosperity journey of Ethiopia?
Okay, thank you very much for having me again. As you explained, I'm leading an organization called Global Ethiopian Diaspora for Prosperity and Diversity. It's an organization that's established here in the US, and we have already registered legally, to help our country, to stand with our people, to stand with our government. Specifically, the goal and the role of this organization is to bring the diasporas, as you know, more than almost 1 million diasporas are living here in the United States. So we're trying to bring those big potential to one center, so we can help our needy peoples, we can stand with our country. And more than anything, we value this political transition in Ethiopia as the central, key player for the future of Ethiopians and our country. So we try to stand with our country government and support this transition unconditionally, because it has a life, blood, and a big demand of our people from north to south and east to west. So this is all about our organizations, and we traveled to Ethiopia back in 2024 summer during July and August. During that time, we just donated some materials for our military, just to say thank you for saving our country, to be in dark side of history, and for the blood and the life that they sacrificed for the well-being of our people and the country. So when I come to your second question, which is about the role of our organizations on GERD, we have been contributing financially. We have been also involving in different types of public opinions and gatherings, to stand against those who are against the building of GERD for our countries and people's future. So even recently there was a final fundraising that happened here in United States, and we actively participated on that financially, and also by mobilizing on this historical moment, because for us, especially as an organization and diaspora, GERD is a symbol of unity, a symbol of triumph. And when I concluded, GERD for us is the second Adwa, where we came together as a unity and we win economically for today and for the future. So we are really happy and to be on this greatest part of history, where we are going to leave our fingerprint for today and for the next generation on this biggest dam. And more than anything, we have a big appreciation and thanks for our PM, who is very expert in starting and finishing the mega project that is connecting history. That means yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Well, you've told us, the role of diasporas, specifically the Global Ethiopian Diaspora for Prosperity and Diversity Association. Let's talk about diasporas who are living in different parts of the world. How do you evaluate the role of diasporas, the large diasporas, in the accomplishment of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Obviously, this Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is a very self-financed project. Ethiopians from different corners have put hands to successfully complete this Grand Continental project.
Great, that's a great question. As I mentioned earlier, almost 1 million of Ethiopian origins or Ethiopian diasporas are living in the United States. And as you know, United States is the world power in all respects, in technology, civilization, economy. I can say that's one of the biggest giant country. And this big chunk of Ethiopians are living in this big country with big potential, when especially we compare it to where we are as a country and as development and as economy. So as you said, on the other respect, I can say maybe more than 80% of these diasporas have, American citizen, and also those living in Europe also, they have the same thing, they have European citizen. The same thing when you go to Australia and some other countries. So I can say maybe, especially in the civilized countries, more than 75% of the Ethiopian diasporas have the passport of the country where they are residing. So I can say that due to where we are and the type of demand and the status that our people are, there is a big potential that this big part of the society who are living in the developed countries can do for our country and our people. And based on our rights, especially since many of us are the citizens of another country, I can say that we have rights and obligations where we are living here and also back home. Specifically, we don't have a political rights. We may give an advice, but on the other side, we can't decide for the peoples of Ethiopia politically for their political future. But luckily, since we are living in a country where there are lots of materials, where we can transfer a lot of knowledge, informations that can change our country and society, yes, the diaspora can do a lot, really, if we really come together and change this number into big potential. But there is lots of the Ethiopians who are living here in the US and many countries. I can say the majority of them are neutral, who are just on the sideline and watching the political transitions and many of the things that's going on the the impacts of the social medias and everything going on. And there are also many, even though the number is small, who are standing with our country by helping financially, especially contributing for GERD. And I can say there are a lot of confusions, especially because of not knowing our rights and obligations. Some of them are trying to participate or, involve in our political issues, even though we don't have the rights. But as a whole, when I evaluate the role of the diaspora for our country is huge, especially in terms of economy. There are lots of big investors, even who are investing their money here in the US. But as long as they are free from politics, and if they are not going to interfere in the future of Ethiopian politics, that should be decided by the peoples, really, we can play a big role, in my opinion. So that's what our organization is also trying to do. We're trying to harness together this big potential, regardless of religion difference, language difference, culture difference. We are all one as Ethiopians. So we're trying to harness this thing together so we can stand with this amazing moment of our country's transition, politically, economically, and socially.
Well,
so we can do a lot, and we are also working on that now.
Global Ethiopian Diaspora for Prosperity and Diversity is doing an amazing job in supporting the ongoing development and prosperity journey of Ethiopia. You have supported the national defense with some equipment and facilities, and you have participated with the GERD in terms of finance and some technical assistance as well. Let me ask you this. What are the objective and your future plan in participating on different mega projects happening in Ethiopia? Could participating after the GERD, or you will pursue on funding projects after projects in Ethiopia?
Sure. Thank you very much again. Of course, there is no doubt, and there is no any reason for us to back down or to turn back on our people and the country. We will mobilize every available and possible resources that we can get from the civilized nations and countries to help our country, people, and to stand, especially with this greatest moment of history for our country and Ethiopia and our country, because we have a big value, especially for the current political transition in Ethiopia. We waited for this day. Unfortunately, for many years in Ethiopia, the political system that had been built was owned by the elites, by the few elites. And I can say Ethiopia was owned by elites, and it was made only for elites, based on what they can think and based on what they know, ideologically, knowledge-wise, and everything. Now, the reason why I say we are at the right time of history is we are building our political system, economical system, and the social system for the people, by the people. So I can say there's no any reason for a healthy-minded person to back down or to turn back on our country as this golden moment of our history. I can say that. What I can say lastly is, the biggest quality of our leader at this moment is he understands the value of time. Time with respect to history. We learn from yesterday, we build today, and we transfer a better country for the next generation. That means he's connecting yesterday, today, and tomorrow. That's the biggest quality that we need from a leader. So we'll keep on helping our country even after GERD.
Yes, you've said we are on a very golden moment. What does it mean by?
Sure, that's a great point. The reason why we are in golden moment is, I can say, we are on 21st century. You can say where we are as a human civilization. Where we are in terms of AI, in terms of technology. You can know and get anything what you want on a split of second on your hand, on anywhere, as long as you know how to change it to action. So that's the first thing, because of where we are in terms of civilization as a human species. And the second thing is, as I mentioned on previously, the kind of leader that we get at the moment, in my opinion, as an Ethiopian, this is really a golden moment. Because of our political culture, many of our politicians are maybe stuck on yesterday. Some of them are praising yesterday. Some of them are just blaming yesterday in order to build today, rather than learning from yesterday, build today, and build a generation for tomorrow. Many of us are fighting on yesterday up to now. So what I'm trying to say is why we are on golden moment. The leader who is handling the country's steering wheel, he understood this basic and foundational ingredient of leadership as a country. So our leader has learned, all his principles learned from yesterday. Let's build today and let our next generation live a better life than our ancestors or our grandfathers and our fathers live, and even better than what we live. And many of the infrastructures that's being built at this moment in Ethiopia are, in Amharic, they call it Tulut Shagari, or it's a type of project that's connecting generations. It's not a project that's going to be abolished after 5-10 years. Maybe it's going to be there for the next 50 years. And then our next generation, they can use it, they can improve it. Then our country is now in a big momentum. So really, I feel proud to be at this historical moment, to be part of the diaspora and also Ethiopian origin to also put my fingerprint in this transition. So that's why I say we are on a golden moment.
Let's talk about the role of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam in bringing regional and continental integration. How do you view and how do you analyze the anticipated economic ties that will happen after the completion of the GERD? Of course, Ethiopia is on trading electricity to the neighboring countries.
Once the GERD will be completed, Ethiopia will be the powerhouse and the electric power hub, I can say, maybe for East Africa. And as you know, electricity was invented, maybe I can say, a century ago. And when you compare where we are in terms of the development of electrification in our country with the time when the electricity was invented, and also the level where the big powers of the world are in terms of electrification of their country, in terms of building the biggest electric dam, we're really far behind. So I can say the completion of GERD or the effect of GERD is going to be like a jump start for us, to fill that gap where we have been up to now, and the gap that we have between the time when the electricity was invented and between where we are and where the big countries are. So I can say GERD is like a jump start for Ethiopia, not in theory, but in practice, because that's the largest dam in Africa. So with respect to the economical ties, first of all, we are using our natural rights that God given to us. It's a water that's flowing on our land. So we are using that water and build this largest water dam. Then once we became a power hub, we can supply electricity for our neighboring countries. Then we can create lots of mutual interest and connections with many countries in the East Africa, even beyond that. And as you know, the 1929 and the 1959 Nile Agreement totally excluded Ethiopia during the colonial era. This is the time when you can't hide truth. We are using our truth at the right time and our natural rights. So using that power, we are going to power our country. We are going to power East Africa. And this will be the biggest potential and the foundational moment for us, to create mutual ties with many of our neighboring countries.
How do you view the role of the GERD in harnessing diplomatic ties within the recipients? For example, Ethiopia will export electricity to Sudan, Kenya, Somalia, Djibouti, you see, other African nations. What will be the role of GERD in this sense in harnessing diplomatic ties and diplomatic relationships?
Of course, it's going to play a leading role, in harnessing the diplomatic ties with our neighboring countries, because there is no any third party who dictates us at this time. It's our interest that will be the priority for us to harness ourselves and also to create a diplomatic ties. There is no any other big power like the colonial era who's going to decide for us how we can create a ties with our neighboring countries. So we have electricity, and also we have a lot of natural rights that we need to exercise even in the future, around East Africa. So now we have already started with GERD, and many of the neighboring countries, they are still on the mentality of the colonial era, just like a nightmare, and trying to not to understand and accept our natural rights that we can build GERD on our land. So, as I said, now the foundation for our diplomatic ties between our neighbors will be on truth and our natural rights, and also the type of economical ties that we can create with them. So that will be really a monumental time for Ethiopia, to create good ties and diplomatic relationship with our neighbors based on our interests, our priorities, our natural rights, and the truth without the dictation of any third power or any external involvement. So, of course, GERD is going to play a leading role for Ethiopia and the Ethiopians to have a long-lasting relationship with our neighboring countries.
Let's talk about the diplomatic success that Ethiopia has gone through and achieved playing diplomacy with low riparian countries and mainly with Sudan and Egypt.
We really, I can say, we successfully played the diplomatic relationship, especially with Sudan and Egypt, especially in the last, 5 years. I don't need to say much before saying thank you to our Prime Minister and also Dr. Engineer Seleshi, who was leading the GERD negotiation on the stage of United Nations when we had that type of negotiation between Egypt and Sudan. So to tell you frankly, we went to the stage, to the United Nations stage, to every diplomatic discussions with these countries based on our, as I said before, our natural rights to use GERD, and also we help them to come to their mind to see reality rather than just sticking to the colonial era agreement that was made between the colonial era powers and Egypt and Sudan that completely excluded Ethiopia from GERD, as if it's a land where no humans are living on Ethiopia. We're not part of that. So we even helped Egypt and Sudan, to come to reality, to see reality, and to build a relationship based on respect. And so I can say we played it bravely and based on truth. And you can't hide truth. You can try to hide truth. You can pile a mountain of lies and trash on truth, but you can never kill truth because truth is like energy. So now that truth has won with our very genius and strategic leadership that we have at this time in the country. And luckily, as you know, even though we don't have the exact timetable for the GERD inauguration, now we are almost at the end of the GERD construction. So that means we have successfully won the diplomatic ties that we have, especially with these two countries, and even we help them what really mutual diplomatic ties look like and what it is for them, by taking reality as a foundational point of discussion, to come to the table. So I can say, as I mentioned at the beginning of my talk, GERD for us, for Ethiopians, for Ethiopia, and for our leadership is a second Adwa. We really won, I can say. When we come together, really we show them that we can win in all respects. So I can say we are really successful diplomatically.
As we've said a while ago, it's a self-financed project, and everything is, done by Ethiopians, be it the finance and the engineering aspect of it, also done by Ethiopian engineers. What has to be done to replicate the same projects, national projects in different parts of the country, not necessarily electricity, be it education, health, or whatever? What has to be done to do the same projects in unison?
As you know, as reality, always when you look at where we are in terms of technological invention as human race, always when you go back, always the hardest thing is the starting one, the innovation. The first one or the icebreaker. That's the hardest moment for humanity to go to the biggest transformation. So I can say our engineers played the leading role intellectually in all respects, to help Ethiopia succeed to build GERD. So I can say the current generation and also the next generation, can learn from this, that we can do it. If we come together and if we can use our intellectual properties, not only, fighting in a war, also if we can think, use our mind, we have the intellectual properties. We saw it. So we used that intellectual property that the human civilization given to us. Really, this is a learning moment for the current generation that we can do. We can build what we plan to do in our country. So to tell you frankly, we really did it. All Ethiopians came together financially. And also, as you said, the Ethiopian engineers and icon engineers, we saw it practically, not theoretically, that we have very precious, golden intellectual minds, that can build and move not only Ethiopia, I can say the whole Africa, that can put their fingerprint. So I can say that this is the beginning. And the beginning is also, we saw it in a very big project, one of the biggest dam in Africa. If we can build this one with our own intellectual property, maybe the rest is going to be, I can say, very easy. So we should use this thing as a learning moment for us, and also transfer it and keep on rolling the momentum that we have started to move forward.
Gashaw Ida, Chairperson for Global Ethiopian Diaspora for Prosperity and Diversity, thank you for your insight on GERD, the role of the diaspora, and its role in connecting Africa. We appreciate you on behalf of OBN Horn of Africa.
Really, thank you also. I would like to appreciate OBN, really keep up your good work. And thank you very much again for having me. Thank you.
Dear viewers, this brings us to the end of our edition for today. Bye-bye. Take care. Have a good one.